Okay, so my name is Lakshmi. Okay, thank you, Arun. My name is Lakshmi Narayana. Me having around 12 plus years of experience in IT industry. So I don't want to talk more about myself. You are going to see more about in my classes. So I don't want to tell everything about myself. This is just 12 years experience in IT industry and 10 years experience in teaching field. Okay, right now I'm working as a freelancer. So this is myself. So why we are here? To learn one beautiful language called Python. So as part of demo today, we are going to understand what is a Python, who invented Python, okay, what is actually exactly where Python is used in a real-time industry, we are going to understand. So, anyone, everyone knows Python, right? I mean, my question, everyone knows any other programming languages? Or some people are working in real-time industry, some people are doesn't know anything, and some people are coming for different technologies to learn Python. For everyone, Python is a very easy language. I can say we can learn very easily. If you are addicted to write a Python programming, you love to write a programming very easily. That's what I can say about Python. A lot of things are there. We'll understand one by one. So those who are coming from different background also, they can understand very clearly. I don't know whether you are know technically or non-technically. I don't know what you are coming from the background. Please, language is very easy compared to another programming languages. Okay. So as part of demo, I'm going to discuss what is a Python, who invented Python, and where a real-time industry our Python is going to be used. Okay. So before going to start a Python, we are going to understand how the Python is used in a different varieties of the application to develop the Python language. Through the Python language, how we can develop the various application we are going to understand. Okay, before going to start our Python, okay, what we need to understand. So we need to understand Python is a one the language, one of the language. Through that one we develop the applications. Okay. So first we need to understand what is the application. So applications are users by end user. So we call as a user. So users the applications we call as a users. Okay. So who develop the applications they are called as a developer. So application users they called as a user. So application who develops the application so they called as a developer who develops the application. Okay. So first we need to have an application to use the user. For end user, if you want to perform any task through the application, you can use the applications. But to develop the application, developer has to be there to develop the applications. What is the application? Application is nothing but a set of programs. Okay. So developer has to write a set of programs to develop the application. Okay. How many varieties of the application we have means we have three varieties of the application. One is console based application. How many types of applications means apps are application or apps also we can say. There are three varieties of the application. One is console based applications. Console based application means they use a console to perform give the input and see the output. Okay, so those are called console based application. And there is another applications called desktop applications or GUI applications, graphical user interface application, graphical user interface applications. So this is a character user interface we are using in a console based applications. Is it audible, Supriya? Is still unable to hear the voice. Supriya is unable to hear. Okay, everyone is here. Ganesh, Durgesh, everyone is facing a problem, or everyone can be able to listen what I'm saying? Is it audible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, Durgesh. So desktop application, geo applications, and there is another applications like web applications. So console based applications, or it is called as a menu based applications. Console based applications also called as a menu based applications. Like if you are going for any tea center, or if you are going for any small hotels, there is a tea center, or if you are going for a small any hotels, small hotels, there will be a bill. They'll generate a bill, okay, based on your tea, right? If you're taking two teas, okay, two teas, okay. If you purchase two tea, okay, there will be based on what's 20 rupees, like that. They give on receipt, okay. That is the one bill they give. So how they develop means they develop using a console. Those applications will called as a console based application. So coming for desktop applications we have a like YouTube downloader. If you go for YouTube downloader, this is one of the desktop application. So they use say graphical user interfaces. So one of the best example is desktop application is a YouTube downloader. Okay, that is a desktop application. Coming for web applications, so web applications means we have a application which is launched in the server. So it will serve as it will take the request and response and gives the uh, it will work on the web using the internet. Okay, these applications are called as a web applications. Like examples are called, best example is a Facebook, and we have different web applications are there. Okay, simple applications are three applications. One is console based applications, desktop applications, and web applications. For web applications, to use this application we should have internet, but while developing we can develop the applications without internet also. We can develop the applications, but after developing the application there must be internet to use these applications. Okay, so there are three varieties of the application: console based, desktop applications, and web application. After developing this application, so this was be used by the end user. Why end user has to use means to do some task on this one applications for according to his requirement. Okay, so these applications who will develop means developer. How we can develop these applications means we need to understand the programming language. How the developer can develop the applications means either it is a console based or desktop application or web application. Okay, you need to understand the programming languages. Okay, you need to understand what programming languages. Okay, without understanding programming languages you cannot develop a applications, either console based desktop applications or web applications. What are the programming languages are available means we have a C is a programming language, C++ is a programming language, Java is a programming language, .NET is a programming language. Okay, Pascal is also programming language. .NET is a programming language. PHP is a programming language. Linux shell scripting is a programming language. Modular 2 is a programming language. Okay, these are called programming. Lot of programming languages are there, sir. Without understanding the programming language, developer cannot develop the applications. Okay, so if I say C is a programming language, but which variety of the programming language is it is a it is a C is a procedure oriented programming language, and Pascal is also comes under procedure oriented programming language. If you take C++ and Java, these three is coming as a object oriented programming language. So these three are object oriented programming language. Linux shell scripting comes under scripting language scripting language. Modular 2 is comes under modular programming language. Okay, so I can divide this variety of the programming languages into different programming languages categories. One is procedure oriented programming language, object oriented scripting language, and modular programming language. Procedure oriented means they use a technique called functions or procedures to develop any applications. If you have a task, okay, if you have a project, they divide it into task. Okay, every task is called as a unit. Every task. Kannad, Deshmukh, are you unable to hear? Is everyone can hear, sir? Deshmukh is saying I am unable to hear. Is it okay? Deshmukh is saying and I am unable to hear. Is everyone is able to hear? Please respond in the chat box. Yeah, please connect. Can you connect once again? Okay. Yes, sir. So C is a procedure-oriented programming language. Means everything is we call as a unit. So unit is nothing but procedures are a functions. Okay, we divide our task as a procedures and functions. Through procedures and functions, we develop the applications. Object oriented means we use a concept called class and object. Here unit is nothing but a class and object, so that's why it's called as a object oriented programming. So using an object we can develop the application. Scripting languages means we use a scripting means we use some backend script. Okay, scripts we are going to use to perform the taking the backup of the scripts. We are going to understand more on upcoming classes. Okay, scripting language also called as a scripting language. Modular means they use a modularity to develop the applications in case of WhatsApp modular too. So these are the different variety of the programming language we can use. Okay. So I can now coming back to Python. I have not mentioned here Python. Now tell me Python. What about Python? So Python. What about Python? Python is a procedure-oriented technique. So Python is using object-oriented, or Python is using a scripting language, or Python is using a modular programming techniques. Can you respond? Oh, so Python is coming under which variety of the programming language? Please respond on the chat box. Is Python is a procedure-oriented, or object-oriented, or scripting language, or modular programming language? Because we are learning Python, right? Is it Python is which variety of the programming language? Can respond in the chat box, please? Anyone? Some people are saying it is object oriented. Okay. And any other? All programming language. Some people are saying, yeah, very good. Veda is saying, yeah, all programming language. Sir. Okay. Any other? Durgesh, Ganesh, Kalyani, Deshmukh, Sanjay. Okay. So any other persons can give respond on the chat box? What do you know about Python? Python is a snake, huh? Hello? Sir, please respond in the chat box. I'm asking the question. Hello? Sir, two persons only responded. Python is a some person is saying object oriented, some person is saying all programming languages. Okay, any variety of the answers I want. Any variety of the answers? No. So Kalyan is saying object oriented. Okay, very good. So that's what I need some different answers. That's why I'm. Some people are saying Supriya is saying it is a scripting language. Very good. Okay, very good. So that's what I want. Okay. Some people are coming from Java background. They are saying is a object-oriented programming language. Some people who know Linux, they are saying it is a scripting language. Some people who are coming from C background, they are saying as a procedure oriented. Okay, some people are who develop the applications using modular 3, they are saying as a modular programming language as well. But Python is everything, sir. Python is everything. Python, the procedure, it has taken the feature from procedure oriented. Python is taken the feature from object oriented. Python is taken the feature from scripting language. Python has taken the what's the feature from the modular programming language. So Python is everything, I can say. Python is everything. It is called as a general purpose programming language because Python is a general purpose programming language. Okay, first I mentioned it is a programming language. Now one extra thing we understood, Python is a general purpose programming language. But lot of students are coming from Java. They are also saying Java is a general purpose programming language also. Java is also general purpose programming language. Java is also general purpose programming language. Yes, sir. Yeah, you can use a same definition for Java also. General purpose programming language. Correct? Programming language. Very good. So why main difference between Java and Python is Python is using a less code. Python is using a less code than what's a Java. That is a main advantage of going for what's a Python. Python is also a general purpose. Java is also general purpose programming language. Why then? Why I need to go for a Python means, okay, we are using a less number of code, less number of lines of code. But when you are coming upcoming classes, we will understand, hey, we are reducing less number of writing the code when you are learning what's a Python. So you come to know how we can reduce the number of lines when you're learning a Python. Okay, so that's why Python is also called as a general purpose programming language. Python is taken the feature from object oriented, procedure oriented, scripting language, and modular programming. But lot of students I have seen, they are saying Python is a scripting language. Python is a scripting language. Very good. Okay, why that is called as a most popular? They are calling a scripting language is execution style of the Python. Execution style of the Python. Execution style of the Python is like a scripting. Execution style of Python. Execution style means executing the statement. Okay, execution style of the Python is like a scripting language. That's why is a scripting language. Okay, so what is a scripting language and what is the main difference between programming language? You'll understand. Okay, scripting. No, the scripting means actually it's nothing but a if you go for any movie, if you are directing any movie, they call as a they first read the script. Okay, scripting means like a number of characters, how they interact with the characters. Okay, how what is the dialogue delivery, everything they are written in the script. Okay, that is called as a scripting language. Scripting language is nothing but a sum of the instructions only. Scripting language is nothing but a instructions only. Okay, instructions, we execute instruction one by one. Okay, character by character we are writing a scripting is nothing but a instructions. Okay, so what is the main difference between our programming language and the scripting language? Difference means programming language is also will called as a instructions, but here in scripting language we are writing less number of instructions. In programming language we are writing a number of instructions or more to perform a task. Okay, so both are same only, but the execution style for scripting language and programming languages are different, going to be different. Coming for programming language, what we are going to do, we are going to write a one source code. Okay, I'll take the example of Java, sir. But you might ask the question, so why you are taking a Java? I don't know anything Java. Don't worry. So I have given some of the what's the points here to understand. Okay, how I can compare with Java to Python. Okay, later point you will understand more on what, sir. I'm discussing more on Python only. So we are just some of the differences we are going to understand Java, because Java is also object oriented, Python is also object oriented, so that's where you can compare. So now I'm telling how the differs our object this one our execution style for Java and execution style for our Python will understand. So in Python, Java, what we are going to do? We are going to write our source code. Okay, we are going to write our source code. Source code means source code means you are writing a code in a Java that is called as a source code. But what is the extension we are giving is .java extension we are giving. For example, this is a file a.java. Java is extension for our Java code. We are writing a source code. Source code is nothing, sir. Simple. We are writing the instructions to the Java.
ठीक है.
Hello. Please mute.
क्या हुआ?
Please mute. Hello. Any questions? Hello.
हमारे का तो मोहन केडिया के पास मिलता है बढ़िया रेट.
Hello.
हाँ.
Please mute.
पूछ लीजिएगा. मोहन केडिया तो ऐसा बहुत बड़ा दुकान है, दाम ठीक है. हाँ.
Hello.
आप एक दो दुकान में देख लीजिए, या छतौनी में भी दुकान हो सकता है जो.
Please mute.
यार सीएट का भी ठीक है, हमारा मजबूत है.
Hello.
हाँ, वो एमआरएफ है ना, जल्दी उसमें
Ganesh or
काटी.
Durgesh or I don't know someone. Please mute yourself.
अच्छा, क्या हो गया है?
Hello.
अरे ठीक है, हो
Sanjay,
जाएगा.
mute yourself. Sanjay.
यस सर, बाद में बात करते हैं. ठीक 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 ठीक. यस सर.
Hello.
हेलो.
Please mute yourself.
हेलो. हाँ सर.
Hello. Mute yourself. Sanjay.
यस.
Mute करो.
नीट. नीट.
Mute नहीं सर, mute करो.
अच्छा. ओके सर.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. So we have a source code. We write the instructions on the Java. That is nothing but a source code. Okay. After writing the source code, we need to give to the compiler. So compiler, we need to give to the compiler. The source code has to give to the compiler. So what is a compiler? Compiler is a translator. Compiler is a translator which converts source code into next level machine code. But here it is going to converting as a bytecode. Here the source code is converting as a bytecode. So that is also called as a intermediate code. It's called as a bytecode. So it is called as a intermediate code. So in case of Java, our source code is being converted to the bytecode, and this bytecode we can run into different operating systems. So different operating systems, like it can run into, our bytecode can run into Windows operating system, okay, Linux operating system, and Mac operating system. Okay, but here there must be on JVM has to be there, JVM, Java Virtual Machine in the Linux, and in Windows also there must be JVM, and Mac also there will be a JVM. So this bytecode can run on different operating systems. So this bytecode can different operating system, like it can run in Windows, okay, it can run in Linux, it can run into Mac operating system. So this is what is happening in case of Java. We are going to write a source code. The source code is given to the compiler. So after coming compiler, output is coming as a.java. So what is the output of this compiler is class. Class is coming as the output. Okay, this class is nothing but a bytecode. This bytecode can run into different operating system. This is what in case of our programming language example is Java. So this is what is happening. Okay, so that's why it is also called as our bytecode can run into different operating system. So Java they are called as a platform independent. That is what they are using in Java. Okay, coming for our Python side. This is what is happening in case of Java. Very simple. So here we are going to write a source code only. We are going to write a source code, but here it is not a Java. It is a Python. It is a Python. Okay. So this is a Python code we are going to write. So this is a Python code. So this is a Python code. And what we are writing the instruction is also called as a source code only. Source code. Very clear. And what is the extension we are giving is .py. Py is the extension. Okay. So here what we are doing, we are not giving to the compiler. In case of Python, we are giving to the interpreter. So we are going to give to the interpreter. So this is a interpreter. So what it's going to do, instead of compiling all the code at once, here it's going to take each instruction. The interpreter will execute the instruction and give into the CPU. Okay, here what is happening? Interpreter is a translator which will convert our source code into machine code. Okay, but what is happening here, sir? Each and every line of instruction is taking one by line and executing by the interpreter and giving to the CPU. We get the output. So in case of programming languages, they use a compiler, but in case of scripting language, they use an interpreter. That is the main difference. The main difference of programming language and scripting language. Okay, this is a difference. They use a compiler in case of programming languages. Okay, and the interpreter they use as a the scripting language they use as an interpreter. Are you clear? So that's why Python is a execution style of the Python. Execution style is like a scripting language. Execution style of Python is a scripting language. Then they don't go forwards a compiler. Okay, we are not given to the compiler, but internally Python is taking as a compiler and converting and giving to the interpreter. Okay, that whole story is taken by Python only, but our intention is what, sir? We are giving the source code, we are writing the source code, and we are giving to the interpreter. So we are going to see the result. So the execution style I'm talking. So execution style of the Python is like a scripting language. Scripting language, they follow like this concept only. They use an interpreter, not a compiler. So that is the main difference between what's scripting language and programming language. I hope you understood what I said. Any questions? Any questions? Python is a scripting language means if anyone asks, yes, Python is a scripting language and Python is a general purpose programming language. You can see. Next question. So that is a okay. So next one, who developed the Python? Python is developed by Guido van Rossum. But we are Indians, we don't know how to pronounce. Lot of people I am seeing Gudo, they're saying Gudo van Rossum, they're saying. Sir, it's not Gudo, it's not a van, it is not a Rossum. He is a Guido van Rossum. Guido van Rossum is a mathematical research, is a mathematician. Okay, mathematician. Okay, he is a Dutch programmer. So mathematician. So he has developed this one in a CWA. Python is developed in CWA, which is located in Netherlands. So a lot of these people are saying Gudo, van Rossum. Okay, but I can pronounce as a Guido van Rossum. Whatever, we are Indians now, we can pronounce whatever we want, but pronounce like a Guido van Rossum. He is a mathematician. He is researched in CWA at the Netherlands, which is located in Netherlands. Okay, in his own project implementation. Okay, in the year 1989. But it is made available in the year 1991. Okay, so project is implemented. Python project is implemented for his own project implementation in the year 1918. And he is given to the public in the year 1991. Okay, public is given to the 1991. Now, public has started using the Python. Okay, public are using the Python. How many persons has developed this Python means only one person, no? Who is a person named Guido van Rossum is a person. Okay, Guido van Rossum person. What he has done, sir, he developed the Python, and public are started using the Python. Public started using the Python. So when public started using Python, they are facing the problem. Public are facing the problem. Okay, Guido van Rossum has to go to their place and he need to resolve the the issues. Public has started using the Python. Only one person is there who developed the Python. That person has to go to the public and he need to resolve the issues. So that's why he is facing a lot of problems when he is going for the public. So that's why he is given to the one of the foundation that is called as a PSF, Python Software Foundation. PSF means Python Software Foundation, which is a non-profitable organization. Python Software Foundation, it's nothing but a non-profitable organization. He has given the Python software to the PSF. Right now, lakhs of people are working inside the Python Software Foundation towards the growth of the Python. Okay, so we can also become a member for Python Software Foundation towards the growth of this one, Python. Okay, it is an open community, non-profitable organization. You can also develop some code and you can also submit to the Python Software Foundation. So they are called as a modules. Okay, so you can submit any modules. So Python Software Foundation right now it is a rich in models. The rich in what are modules. Okay, modules are nothing but we are talking as a inbuilt libraries will call. So that is nothing but a models in case of Python. Okay, they are rich in models. Python software now holding some models. Okay, our software is also having a Python is a software is in a Python Software Foundation only. No need to give any money to download the software and we can work on the Python software to develop the application. No need to purchase any license. We can happily download the Python software and we can develop our application according to our requirement. And the question, so now we understood who developed the Python, and now question, why name Python? So in the year 1989, okay, in 80s, okay, he was Guido van Rossum watching some popular TV show. So that is telecasting in BBC. That is called Monty Python Flying Circus. Monty Python Flying Circus. So now that time it was very famous. So he used to watch this serial. So that time he was watching. So that is why he has taken the name for the Python from this one only. There is no relation for our Python software, Python snake and the Python software. Okay, but in every book they mention the Python snake only. Those who are afraid of the Pythons, okay, you can tear that first sheet and you can learn the Python course. Okay, clear? So why the name has given the Python means in the 1890s there was a popular comedy serial, so that is called Monty Python Flying Circus. He has taken the name Python from here. Okay. So next, what we understand, what is a Python we understood, and who invented Python we understood, and next one why Python we understood. Very easy, sir. But sir, I can, if you understand these three things, this is sufficient to learn our Python. So what I can say, hey, Python, you can go for Python Software Foundation or Python official website is there. Okay, from the Python official website, you can download the software and you can install and you can start learning, writing your programs in Python. But my interested is not like this. My interested is where our Python is used in real industry, where our Python is using our developing the application, where in real time they are using, we need to understand. Without understanding that one, if you are understanding just installing the software and writing the code is not a good thing. That's what I expect. So that's why before going to installation everything, first we'll understand where our Python is used. Okay, for developing the applications. So our Python is used in data analytics to develop the what's our analytics. So then our Python is used to develop the automations. applications, where our Python is used in scientific applications. And we are going to understand where our Python is used in web applications. And there we can see in web scraping also. So Python is used developed for admin scripts or backend scripts. Backup or backend scripts, we call backend scripts. Seventh one, networking with IoT. IoT means Internet of Things. So test case generation in case of testing. And GUI applications, to develop a GUI applications, to develop a gaming applications, and any variety of the application, So at least what I want to say is, at least understand where our Python is using. So then only we can understand, okay, this is where real time they are using. Then only you'll understand the Python language, it will be very good. So just what's people are what they're doing, just they know how to do installation and they started writing the coding. Okay, so I don't prefer like that. First understand where our Python is used in this kind of areas. At least you'll understand the idea. So then we'll go for what's the installation, everything very easy. Okay, first today as part of demo we are going to see data analytics, and we are going to see more on what's the automation, everything, automation, scientific web application, like that. So what do you mean by data analytics? So data analytics means we have a data. Okay, first we need to have what's the data. On data we need to perform the analysis, that is called as a data analytics. Based on our data we need to perform the analysis, is nothing but a data analytics. First, where the data will be there. Okay, in our industry or a project, when you are developing a project, when you have a project, okay, where our data will be there. Okay, whether the data will be in a programming language or we should have some storages, we'll understand. In a project, we are revolving this data around two things. One is for storing the data and processing the data. Okay, any project, okay, two things are we revolving. One is what's our processing the data and storing the data. Very, very important for any project. Storing and processing the data is very, very important. So two things, any project. Okay, we need to process the data and we need to store the data. Okay, so programming languages are Hello. So programming languages are there. They are not good. They are not good to storing the data. They are very good to processing the data. So in case of programming language, okay, we need to store the data. Okay, while developing the application, we write some program, and in the program we need to store the data. So the data will be stored in the primary memory called RAM. Okay, RAM is a volatile memory. So after execution of the program, so the data whatever you're storing in the RAM is going to be deallocated. Okay, after once again, if you're asking the data from the RAM, the data will be not be there, because data is a volatile. Data is what's lost. So you cannot store the permanent data in case of RAM. RAM is a volatile memory. So programming languages, whatever the programming languages, program data, if you want to use, I cannot use as permanent in case of RAM. Okay, they are not good to storing the data permanently. They are good to only processing the data, processing our programs. So in the program we have a data that is very good for only processing, not for storing the data, because RAM is a volatile memory. So, but if you want to store the data permanent manner for next usage, for later part of the usage, we need to store the data permanently. To store the data permanently, we need to have a softwares. Without softwares, I cannot store the data permanently. So what are the softwares available means, we have a files. So why softwares are required means, softwares are required to store the data permanent manner. Store the data permanent manner. What are the softwares we have available means, we have a files softwares. So in a files, what are the softwares we have means, we have a text files, you can store the data permanently. CSV means comma separated value. JSON, Java object notation, JavaScript object notation, XML. Okay, like that we can store the data in a file system. Okay, not only files we can store permanently, we can also store RDBMS. What is RDBMS means? Relational database management system softwares are there. So those are called Oracle, MySQL, DB2, like that we have a RDBMS databases. Okay, in my classes, okay, I'm going to show you how to connect our Python to RDBMS softwares like Oracle, MySQL, SQLite also I'm going to show you. SQLite is a inbuilt RDBMS software available when you install the Python software. We'll understand how to connect to the our Python to the SQLite, MySQL, Oracle, everything in upcoming classes. So these are the RDBMS softwares. And next we have a NoSQL databases, NoSQL. NoSQL means not only SQL. So they are going to store our data in case of key and value pairs. Here they are going to store data in what's a tables format. NoSQL databases, they are using a concept of key and value pairs. So what are the NoSQL databases means? MongoDB, HBase, Cassandra, Netezza, like that. We have a NoSQL databases. So next, another big data purpose, we have a Hadoop. Okay, what are the databases available means? Apache, Hadoop. Okay, Apache Hadoop and Cloudera Hadoop, like that we have a Cloudera Hadoop is there. So they have a master node and slave node. They are going to store the data in case of big data. So basically what I want to say is, if you want to store the data permanently, we need to have a software. Okay, so what are the softwares we have means? File softwares are there, RDBMS softwares are there, NoSQL is there, and Hadoop is there. So these are called as a data sources. These are called as what's it? Data sources. So from these data sources, we need to first connect to the data sources. Okay, programming languages like C, C++, or Java. Okay, through this language, first what we need to do means we need to connect to the sources. Then only we can fetch the data. Okay, and we can analyze the data to perform the analysis on the data. First, we need to connect. Okay, connecting to these data sources is not easy task in case of C, and Java. It's not completely, I'm not telling you it is a tough, it is not that much easy what I'm saying. Okay, so but coming for our Python, okay, if there is a Python, so how much easy we can connect to Python, how we can connect to our file system. So I'm going to show you, I'll show you how easy to connect our file data, and how we can read and display, how we can read the data from the file is very easy in case of what's of Python. Okay, but if you go for C or C++ for Java, connecting to these data sources, okay, not that much easy. Okay, I'm not saying it is a tough, it's not that much easy, I'm saying. Okay, files, okay, it will take, we need to understand, if you're going for Java, you need to understand streaming concepts, you need to understand. Okay, coming for our Python, how very easy to connect our file system. Okay, very easy when you're writing the Python code. Okay, for example, I'm going to show you how easy to connect our file through the Python through Python. So I have one function called open is a function. See, open is a function and read is a function to read all the data, and close is a function. These three functions are sufficient to connect to our file systems. Not only files are, we can connect to the RDBMS, NoSQL, or Hadoop. So whatever the data sources, you can connect very easily. But here in my example, for your easiness, I'm showing the file system. Okay, so there is a abc.txt file is there in my computer system. Okay, so this is where abc.txt file is there. That data is contains soft to sham is contained. Okay, this is a file is there. Okay, so I used a abc.txt file, and you can have a mode also. So open function takes two parameters. One is file name, then mode. By default, if you're not giving anything, that is a read mode only. Okay, or else you can also mention R. R is a read mode. Okay, if you want to go for write mode, you can go for W. If you want to go for append mode, you can go for a something like that. 3 modes are there, but we are going to understand very clearly file handling in upcoming classes. So abc.txt is a file, and I'm going to read the data. So that's why I'm going for R mode. Okay, then the entire data I'm storing into one variable called as a file variable. So from the file variable, I can print the data. Want to print the data? F dot reader. I can read all the data from that file, and finally I can close the file. Three things, no? Okay, three things. One is open. Afterwards, we are going to read the data and we can close the data, close the file. Clear? And I'm going to run. You can see the output. We can see the output lag to soft to sham. Yes or no? Clear? So how many lines of code we written, sir? 3 lines of code we written to WhatsApp connect to our WhatsApp file system and read the data. Not only like that, we can also go for WhatsApp. How easy to connect to our databases like RDBMS. Everything, it is very easy than other programming language. Okay. So now what we understood from this one, from Python, we can understand how easy to connect to the file, read a file, and we need to close the file. Okay, there is an automatic mechanism to close the file also. There is a with statement is there in the Python. 1 minute, sir. Battery is running low. Just give me 1 minute. So yeah, so we can easily connect to the file and we can read and we can close the file. Very easy, sir. Very easy, as I shown here. Very easy, right? So this is what we are doing. Okay, after reading, after fetching the data, what we need to do means we need to process the data. How to process means, why we need to process the data means to perform an analysis on the data. Okay, after reading the data, we need to process. To process the data, or if you want to analyze the data, we have a algorithms are there. Algorithms, inbuilt algorithms are there. So those algorithms will called as a data analysis algorithms. Okay, data algorithm analysis algorithms are there. So what are the data analysis algorithms we have means inbuilt, that is called statical technique analysis. Statical analysis means we have a mean, mode. Okay, like this we have statistical analysis of the data. Okay, second one we have a textual mining data, textual mining technique. Okay, third one we have a spatial techniques we have. Fourth one, machine algorithms techniques we have. Machine learning algorithms we have. So these are the what's are inbuilt algorithms are available in case of Python. Okay, but if you want to do statistical analysis techniques or textual mining, spatial techniques or machine learning through the Java or any other languages, it is going to take a lot of time. But why Python is become very powerful means, okay, these are the inbuilt analysis, data analysis algorithms are available. Okay, for example, if you want to do any sorting or searching operations, okay, you need to write a code. After writing the code, you need to choose the best code or best algorithms by giving some input, and after giving some input, you need to see the output, and that algorithm, best algorithm you need to choose. Okay, you need to have some time to understand that one. But here we have already data analysis algorithms are very there in case of Python. So that's why by using this data analysis algorithm, we can analyze the data very easy manner and very faster manner. So so not only analyzing the data, sir, how we can perform the analysis on the data means by using visualization. Okay, so visualization means we should have a reports. Okay, so reports means by taking the reports and we make a dashboard. How we can make a dashboard means collection of reports. Through the collection of reports, we make a dashboard, and finally we need to generate what's our visualization. Okay, reports, finally whatever the data is there, that we need to visualize. Okay, so we like pie chart, bar chart. Okay, like some charts are stack chart. So a lot of charts are using that one. I can generate the reports in visualization. Coming for our Python, visualization is very good in case of WhatsApp Python. Okay, for generating that one, we have a one third-party model called Matplotlib is there. Matplotlib is sufficient to generate the reports. Okay, we can generate pie chart, scatter chart, like lot of charts are there. We can generate very easily by using WhatsApp Matplotlib. But same thing if you want to develop through any other third-party softwares means, okay, we need to analyze the data first, then we need to take one reporting tool, and to from the data to the reporting tool, make a connection is very tough. For example, if you know anyone, Cognos is a reporting tool. Okay, reporting tool. Okay, if you want to generate that one, we need to understand data very clearly, and how to connect to the Cognos is very important. Okay, these are the main difficulty task in case of WhatsApp Cognos. Okay, reporting tool. Okay, so you need to analyze the data very clearly and connection. Okay, how to fetch the data from different databases and generating the report. Okay, that is very little bit complication. Coming our Python, it's very easy. Okay, by using a matplotlib, okay, you can generate and we can visualization is very important and very easy, and very visualization is very comfortable in case of WhatsApp Python. Okay, so this is what we do data analytics in case of WhatsApp Python. Any questions on this one? Please let me. Okay, today what we understood, sir? Today what we understood is so today as part of demo we understood this one, and we are going to see tomorrow more on this one, sir. So what we understood as part of today, what is a Python? Yes, it is. Kalyan is asking. I need to Python. Okay, I'll ask the question, sir. Please just wait for 1 minute. So what we understood is what is a Python, and who invented Python? Who invented Python? Next one, what we understood? Why Python? Where our Python is used in like data analytics, automation, web scraping, web application, scientific application, and all. Today, what we understood is where our Python is doing data analytics. Okay, I'm going to review. I'm going to make a conclusion what we understood today. So what is a Python? Python is a general purpose programming language. All the features is taken like procedure oriented, object oriented, scripting, and modular. So Python is a general purpose programming language what we understood. Who invented Python means Guido van Rossum in the year 1989, but he is given the public in the year 1991. So why Python means it is a Monty Python Flying Circus. Okay, from that BBC channel, there is a comedy serial was there. That's why the name is taken as a Python. Next, what we understood is a data analytics. What is a data analysis means? We need to perform the analysis on the data. So programming languages we are using, and the softwares also we are using. Programming languages are not good to store the data. Okay, softwares are used to store the data permanent manner. Programming languages uses a RAM. Uses what's a RAM? RAM is a non-volatile. RAM is a volatile memory. Whatever the operations we are performing or programming execution is done RAM, so that is going to be lost. Okay, afterwards we cannot take the data from the RAM. RAM is a volatile memory. For that is the reason we go for what's our softwares. What are the softwares we know? Philo, RDBMS, NoSQL, Hadoop, like that data sources we have. How to connect to the data sources is through WhatsApp or Python is a simple example I have shown. Open function and open and read and WhatsApp close. Okay, three instructions, three functions. Okay, what is a functions? What is a class? What is the object? Everything you'll understand upcoming classes. So it is on function. So what is the inbuilt function? How to create our own function? How to pass a parameters? How to pass arguments? Everything you'll understand. Just understand this is a right now open function. So open function will take two arguments. One is a file name. Next one is a mode, read mode, and we are reading on all the data from the file using a read function. Then finally we are closing that file. So afterwards, after connection, we need to process the data. To process the data, we have inbuilt algorithms like statistical algorithms. We have a textual mining algorithms, spatial mining algorithms, okay, and machine learning algorithms are there. Okay, and afterwards we need to fetch the data. After by using this analysis we can generate the reports. Okay, to generate the reports also we have a inbuilt models are there, that is called as a matplotlib. Using we can generate visualization very easily. Matplotlib. Okay, so this is a third party, this is a model. Through this model we can generate the reports for visualization, better visualization. Okay, collection of reports is nothing but a dashboard. Okay, so this is just a demo, sir. First day we are going for this one. Yeah, now I'm going to ask the question. Please, if you have any question, let me know. Some students have started asking me. So what is the first question I got means? Yes, Kalani, what is your question?
Sir, is it contains a inbuilt library for reports?
No, we need to go to understand matplotlib. So if you want to understand matplotlib, first you need to understand matplotlib. Okay, these are the model. If you understand matplotlib, first you need to understand numpy, pandas, then you can go for matplotlib. So if you are going for what's a data science, first you need to understand numpy, next pandas, matplotlib, okay, scikit-learn, cburn. So a lot of things are there, sir. Cburn, okay. So like that is there. So you need to understand one by one. NumPy you need to understand, pandas, then matplotlib. So if you are going for data science, okay, there you can see the visualization how they are doing. Okay, so that at that time you need to understand matplotlib, scikit-learn,
Sir,
cburn.
all these are considered advanced Python, right? Are you going to explain these concepts also?
No. I'm going to explain up to multi-threading. The syllabus I am
Okay.
sending. Okay, I'm going to explain. Those who want to go for data sciences, they need to study NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, scikit-learn. Okay, when they're teaching data science, first they need to teach from here only. Okay.
Okay, sir, can you please show us the the content which you are going to explain?
Yeah. Syllabus I can give, sir. Not a problem. Okay, our management is there. They give the syllabus, entire syllabus. Okay, what I'm going to teach you. Okay,
And
but I
this
know what is
running
that.
notes.
Sorry.
Sorry, sir. Are you going to provide this running notes which you
Yes,
written
definitely.
in this
See,
class?
in my class, okay, actually, I have, if you're going for my classes,
Back the
see, sir, this is my previous class I have taken. So this is just a core Python. Core Python, around each class will having around 2 hours, 1.5 hour. So these are all core Python. Okay, day one, I am giving the
Hello?
Hello. Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello. Yeah.
Sir.
See, sir, for day one, you get a video. Yeah. And I am going to give the class notes. Hello.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Yes, you're audible now.
Yeah. See, the day one, you get a video. And you get my class notes, and I'm typing no slides, no slide explanation. Everything I type and I will explain. Okay.
Sir, advanced Python also are you going to explain? Or only core
Yeah.
Python?
Advanced, core and advanced. Core and advanced.
Okay. Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Any questions?
Sir. Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, I am not non-background in computer science. I am
Okay.
a student of commerce.
Okay. But sir, do you have a computer knowledge?
Little.
Hmm?
Little knowledge, sir.
Computer knowledge means you know what is a CPU, what is a input and output,
Yes, sir. I
and
know.
you know what is a folder file.
Yes, sir. I know everything.
Okay, if you know that one, that is sufficient. Okay, and you need to do a lot of practice. That's all. You need to have a practice. The day one, you need to have a practice. And you know, right? You can take my videos. Okay, you can start practicing. If you have any queries on that part, you can let me know. Not a problem. But only thing, my suggestion, you need to have a practice.
How much day in demo class?
3 demo classes will be there for everyone. So fourth onwards, there will be no demo classes. So that will taken by the paid students.
Sir, yeah, only Python teaching, you know.
No, I'm not only teaching Python, sir. I'm also teaching Django as well. I'm going to start a new batch, upcoming classes. Okay, but I have not started it. I'm going to start the Django as well. So those who are learning core Python and advanced Python also, they can learn Django.
How much price, sir, is course Python?
So the course wise, everything there are management will tell you, sir. Okay, core and advanced Python also they'll tell you what is the course fees. Okay, so only thing is what, sir, everyone I'm saying, whether you are learning anywhere, but practice, sir, practice should be done.
Yes, sir.
Without practicing, it's very difficult. Everyone has to do practice the day one. And in my class, I'm going to ask lot of questions to you. Without asking, once you get a clarity only, I'm going for the next concept.
Sir, one more question, sir. Can you go for Django parallelly with Python, or should we complete, or should we have knowledge on Python? Hello? Hello, sir.
Core Python, you must be strong in Core Python, or else you cannot learn what's a Django.
Okay, we should have at least knowledge on core Python, right?
Yes, yes, Core Python and class, object, module, functions. You need to have idea, very clear idea.
Oh, okay, sir. Yeah.
Then you can learn Django. Not only this one, sir. Those who want to learn web application. Tomorrow I'm going to explain what are the web application. That time I'll tell you. So if you want to go for Django, you need to understand, at least you need to know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So those who want to learn Django, if they're planning to learn Django, please go through W3 schools is there .com. Just go through HTML, CSS. It is very easy. So just go through it, and one day we are going to start Django also. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. I am not saying you need to master in these three. Just to understand what is the basics of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript.
Okay, sir. Yeah, I have knowledge. I'm already working on UI technologies in HCL.
Super, super. Then you can learn Django very faster.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Any questions?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Hello. This batch started
Yeah.
today. Oh,
Batch is started today, sir. Batch is started today only. Batch is started today only. Batch is started today. Okay. 3 demo classes will be there. 3 demo classes. Okay. Afterwards, you need to pay the fees and you can come to the class.
sir, yeah, this
3 demo
course,
classes are free.
sir, this course, how days, how much?
How many days? Yeah, it will take. Means actually, these are at least 2.5 months is required.
Okay, sir. Thank
Sir,
you.
there is no hurry. There is no hurry. There is no worry. What I am going to say, every day you need to clear the concept. Then only I will leave for the day. Okay, not like others. Okay, 1 hour I am saying. Okay, it's not like that. You can see my videos. So it will take 1.5 hour, 2 hours also. Everything once you get a clarity only, I am going to WhatsApp for going for another classes. So everything must be clear. So 2 months I'm saying means it may take 2.5 months or that's all. But I'll make you very clear concepts. Very clear concept. You feel the difference. Okay. So a lot of people are saying 1 month it is going to complete. No, sir. 1 month, no one. I mean, I'm not a faculty like 1 month completion fast. No. Everything has to come understand every person. Okay, in my class. Then only I'm going for the next classes like that. Okay. Each and every person has to master in my class. Okay. Yes. Any questions? See, each and every day I'm going to ask the questions like this. That's why I'm asking questions for you. For each and every day for my classes, every day there will be, I'm going to ask the questions. If you have any concern, you can ask. Not a problem. Yes. Any questions? Okay. We are going to see same timings. Any questions? Let me know. Supriya, Ganesh, Durgesh, Any question? Kalyani, Deshmukh, any question? Veda. So no questions. We are going to see tomorrow. Same timing.
9 a.m.
Durgesh is saying, yeah, this is time is not suitable for me. Okay. Okay.
Sir, that's starting in 9 a.m.
Yeah. No. I have a class. Okay. I have a class from 7 o'clock. I am starting 2 batches I am handling. So
This batch start in 9 a.m. sir.
no.
Right.
I'm starting the classes from 7 to 8 and 8 to 10 I have a class and 10 to now I'm taking another class. So 2 batches
Sir.
before the time end.
Sir, this batch start time, sir. Tomorrow.
This batch I am starting at 10 because before that I have a classes.
10 a.m. sir. 10 a.m. open result.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Durgesh Patil saying 7 a.m. Already 7 a.m. Core Python is completed. 7 a.m. batch Core Python is completed. I am into the advanced Python. I am into advanced Python. Is it okay if you want to join? Also no problem. If you know Core Python, then okay. If you already know Durgesh, if you know Core Python, then you can join advanced Python happily. Those who know already Core Python, those who want to join advanced Python also, they can join, sir. 7 a.m. batch is running. Okay. Okay, any questions? Durgesh Patil, then you can think about the timing. Okay. And yeah. Any questions, sir? Other than any questions? Sanjay, Supriya,
Yes.
Kalyani, Durgesh. No, right? So we are going to see tomorrow. Same time. Yes. Bye. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.